Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to my scalping and day trading masterclass. Stay to the end because throughout this masterclass I'm going to be teaching you some of the world's highest probability scalping and day trading strategies for trading any market, whether you be trading futures, Forex or the stock markets. They also work on any time frame, and you're going to quickly understand why that is. I'm going to teach you the logic behind the strategies. Now, as we do get underway, by law I do need to pull up the disclaimer. Here it is. Here there is a disclaimer. There is a risk in trading. Don't run out there and trade with the rent money, etc. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be teaching you a huge amount of information, but I also need to give you some background of where I'm coming from when we go through this. Now, first of all, I just want to pull up the camera here. And hi everyone, if you haven't seen me before, welcome. So this is a journey that most traders go through, and you'll see a couple of screenshots in a moment. I've got a massive library. I've been doing research and designing trading systems for many years. I promise you I'm going to give you the best of the best. I'm not going to hold back on anything. I'll show you the world's best strategies, okay? But therefore I also need you to be very open-minded. And as you'll see here that, I'll give you a lot of tips and ideas as I go along. For an example, with my trading rules, I trade every day, and I've got my rules here on my boards, which I have behind my screens, and a big one over here, which I have them mounted. Now I run a coaching room, and my main key rules I have up here on my board, so as I trade I can just be glancing at the rules as a reminder. So it's little things like this which make a massive difference. I'm going to be teaching you in this masterclass, so this will probably go for a good hour or so, probably an hour and a half I would say. So it's going to be a lot of information, so I'd recommend you turn off your phone, make sure that you've got a pen and paper handy. Now of course you'll be watching the recording of this, so you'll be able to go back also if need be and go through it again. So let me get this PowerPoint, and you'll have to excuse me, it's going to be unedited, so if there's any mistakes as we go through, you've got to forgive me, okay? If I get from a grammar point of view or I fluff up a word, look, this is not about being a Universal Studios production. This is about how to master the art of day trading. So first of all, this could be the most important webinar you'll ever attend. Don't buy the lie that it takes years to master the art of scalping and day trading, or that you need to spend thousands of dollars buying expensive indicators, courses or software. A lot of what I show you today others are charging thousands of dollars for, and a lot of what I show you today is free. Some of the best indicators in the world are free. You don't have to pay for them. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you what some of those are and how to actually use them. Save your cash for your trading account. Also, whether you trade futures, Forex or stock markets, as I mentioned when we got underway, it's just as applicable for any market, any time frame. Now, who's this webinar for? Whether you're a brand new trader. Right now we're going through the incredible market times with the coronavirus around the world. And whether you're brand new, now if you're a brand new trader, it's going to take you longer to get up and running. And this is where I say to every single trader, even if say you've been trading for 20 years, but trading hasn't been kind to you, and I've got over, what is it now, over 8,000 members, and I have 200 in my coaching room each session. And as I say to them, you need to treat this as a 90 to 180 day internship. Okay, yes, the experienced traders, some of you will pick this up and be able to run with it within a week, some of the ideas. Some will pick it up in a day. I know your challenges, okay, but if you're brand new, give yourself 90 days. And unfortunately, the only place in the world where the word work comes before, or where success comes before work, I should say, is in a dictionary. You've got to put the work in, but it ain't difficult. It's not rocket science. So I know your challenges, I know your pain, and I'm going to give you the solutions. Now this is the journey that most traders, so here I am in my boardroom, and you can see here I've got dozens of courses, literally dozens. I've got I used to actually own a trader's library, so I've got literally hundreds of books. I've got videos, CDs, you name it, I've got it. I've been researching this for many years and been a trader for over 26 years. Now, I'm now what I call a strategy hacker or a modeler. I like to look at something. If someone sends me an idea or a strategy, I like to look at it and really reverse engineer it. Really, that's what it's about. But I keep coming back, and I think it was Gann that once said that many years ago, there's nothing new under the sun. And traders, let me tell you, it's certainly true. Now, I'm also a researcher, and I've been in a fortunate position where I've been able to employ programmers and CTAs to work for me and to trade funds. So I've been able to put together a huge amount of research over the years. And so this is what makes me qualified to talk to you about this. As far as my handouts, and my research I should say, and I show all my members this, and just very quickly, I'll turn the camera back on. I think it's important that you see this. Okay, so you may notice here that every one of my books is dated, and each trading day as I trade, I take notes as I trade. Okay, and I'll go through if there's anything really important to review. And I've just opened up a new one, just today, a new book, because that one was full. What that has given me is close to 50 of these over the years, of just full of a ton of information, golden nuggets of live trading and research information over that time. This is what makes me qualified to talk to you about this. You name it, when it comes to indicators, I've probably purchased it, I've probably owned it, or I've had written. For an example, this is just starting from the A's. These are just the A's and the B's getting down. I've got hundreds of them for TradeStation. I've got there's all sorts of indicators. I've got show me's, I've got paint bars, so hundreds of them. You don't have to go down this road, and I get all sorts of things sent to me by members. For an example, this is Heikinashi, which you can trade. It's really Heikinashi traded correctly is a standalone, and I had one sent to me recently, and it was promoted as the latest thing, and there's been some changes to it. But here were over here on the right were two that I already had, and once again, lo and behold, it's exactly the same. There's virtually no differences. So it really gets back to there's very little new under the sun. Now, as we do go through this information, I'm going to perhaps be throwing a lot of information at you, particularly when we have a look at the trading strategies. Now, what's really important, and this is where traders go wrong. Now, if you're looking for the ideal business to work from home, and work your own hours, and you've only got a small account, well, even if you've got a large account, you start with a small one and you build. It really comes down to what I call Curly's Law. Now, you may remember that great movie where Jack Palance was in it, City Slickers, and Billy Crystal's character said to was talking to Curly. They were on the horses. Curly said, "You know what the secret of life is?" And Curly holds up his finger. And he said, Mitch said to him, "Your finger?" And Curly said, "One thing, just one thing. You stick to that, and the rest don't mean shit." And Mitch turned around and said, "What's that one thing?" And Curly smiles and said, "That's what you've got to find out." Now, unfortunately, when it comes to trading, most traders never really find out what that one thing is. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. You find one strategy, one time frame, one market, and you build from there. There's a concept that we call decision fatigue. It's called decision fatigue, and unfortunately so many traders want to cram so many things on their charts, and when you go to my charts, there's still 2 or 3 things I could easily remove, but I've been doing this a long time, so I leave them on because I just feel comfortable with them. But you've got to have really your chart as simple as possible, and you start with one setup. So when I show you very quickly 15 or 16 setups, we start with one and you build from there. And I think really it was best said by Mark Douglas, probably the greatest trading psychologist that ever lived. Unfortunately, Mark passed away a couple of years ago, and here's what he says: to become an expert, choose one simple trading system that identifies a pattern, preferably one is mechanical instead of mathematical, so you'll be working with a visual representation of market behavior. And that's what I teach my members, and we're going to show you some simple patterns that appear in the market each and every day. Traders, trading is nothing more than a pattern solving exercise. Now, before we get to that, I want to set some targets, because once you've got a profit target, an objective that you wish to be going for each week, each day, each week, each month, then we can look at which strategies will get you there. And also, when the why is big enough, the how will appear. It's very, very important that you've got a target, something to aim for, and it's perhaps one of the mistakes that many traders make. And if there's any old dogs watching this, I've got a lot of old dogs in my coaching class, okay? And we talk a lot about this. Old dogs can learn new tricks. It might just take a little while, a little longer to learn, but you can learn them. So let's have a look. So first of all, what's your weekly income goal going to be? Now, as I say, really, people that don't have goals work for people that do. What's a job? It stands for just over broke. So let's set an income goal. Now, we're going to look at a couple of different scales on this and how to get there with a small account. So what would a $2,000 to $10,000 a week additional income mean to you and your family? Now, for those skeptics in the room, let me say this. The sign of an intelligent person is how open they are to new ideas. So just be open-minded and listen to what I have to say for a couple of minutes. Okay, so we've got a concept. We do really a couple of different types of trading. Most of my trading, my members would do what we call scalping and day trading. So we've got this concept: 5 by 5, yes I can. 5 by 5, yes I can. 3 by 8, yes I can. And that's what we call an anchor. You've got to be in peak state when you trade. Now, when you're scalping, if you're, say, trading oil, that's 5 tick trades a day. It's going to net you, that's net after any losses, 225. And your bigger trades, which I'll show you, okay, are your 2Bs. Now, if you watch the introduction video, the 5-minute intro, it was from some live trades that I took earlier this morning. Okay, so we'll get our scalps where we may decide to get out early, or we deliberately are targeting smaller targets, but then we've got our larger targets, such as our 8, 10, 12 tick trades, and that's our 3 by 8. So very important we have a goal. Now, this is a quick email. Well, it's not a quick email, it's an email from one of my members talking really about scalping the market, and I'll quickly show you some of what some of my members have got to say later on. And let me say this: traders, stay to the end, because forget about spending hundreds of dollars or even thousands with me teaching you how to trade. It's nothing like that. And you'll discover why as we get to the end. So you're going to see a lot of members with the incredible results, and and how they actually do it. But anyway, so let's start with this. Let's just say you've been struggling with your trading up to now. Over 70% of my traders were already experienced when they came to me, and about 30% are brand new. Even if you've got a $100,000 trading account, you don't start with $100,000. You start with a minimum, and you earn the right to increase the contracts that you trade. So what if also you're badly affected, you've lost your job, and you've only got $800 to $1,000? What can we trade there? Well, of course, we can't really day trade stocks with that, but we can trade the micros. So we can start by trading the micro ES. Now, I will say in the last 3 weeks, even the micro has been very difficult to trade because of the volatility. But stay with me, we'll just ignore that, because it is starting, the volumes are starting to drop down, and they will settle down. But either way, what if you started with only 800 and we only went for $20 a day, and then, which is $100 a week? Now, by week 36, you're potentially earning $10,000 a week, and I'll show you how we do that. So let's just say your target's $10,000 a week. Traders, stay with me. Just be open-minded. I'm going to show you how we do this. And first of all, let me just say this. Income really comes down to the desire of the individual trader. I'm an old dog, okay? I'm 60 years of age. I'm not going to go out there and trade 100 contracts. I'll do 5 to 10 lots because that suits me. I'm financially comfortable where I am in my life and do very well, and so 5 to 10, as you'll see in my videos, and is very comfortable for me. You'll get a young guy or a young lady, maybe 25, 30, they've got aspirations of doing 100 contracts, okay, and earning their $5 or $6 million a year. And I'm going to show you a couple of techniques how traders are doing that also in today's session. So let's just say it is 10,000. Stay with me. If it's only 1,000, fantastic. If it's 20,000, just multiply that. But let's chunk it down. So you start trading the micro, targeting only $20 a day. Our objective is to earn our stripes, build our confidence, build our skills, and once we've built that $800 account up to 6,000, then we make the move to trading the big contract. Now, on only $20 a day, it would take you 20 weeks to get there. But wow, you've earned your stripes on the way through. It's been a lot easier because it's been low risk, you've been comfortable. So once you roll over, then it'll take you another 18 weeks to get to 10,000 a week, as I'm about to show you, but it's only taking you 38 weeks. Traders, time will pass either way, and this is the challenge with traders. They want to do everything overnight. As I say, treat this as a 90 to 180 day internship. So let's look at this very quickly. So starting off with an $800 in your account, only $20 a day, okay, at the end of a week we've now got 900, and we keep going, and by week 20 down here my account is now $6,000. 5 by 5, yes I can. Just 5 micro trades a day will get you there, or 3 8-tick trades a day on CL. It depends on the market that you're trading, of course. Meaning, what I meant by that was some markets will have different tick values, or whether you're trading Forex or whatever. Have some water there. So once you do that, you then go to the big contract, and we start off with 6,000. And so by earning the same percentage, $200 a day, which is 3 $80 trades a day, and I'll show you how to do that in this webinar. Okay, by that time to get up to a 10,000, that's 18 weeks. Now what we're also doing here is using the market's money, meaning we start off by trading 1 contract, and once we double our money from 6,000 to 12,000, then we start trading 2. Once we're up to 18,000, we start trading 3. This is a realistic action plan for a trader. We're not talking about double your account every time you get 1,000, you go to another one. It's absolute suicide. You've got to earn your rights and you build. Now, on the other hand, what if that's too much for you? What if you really want to take it easy? You feel at the moment it'll be too much pressure. What if you start off with only $10 a day? If you start off with $10 a day, trading the micro, okay, which is $1.25 a tick, only $10 a day. At the end of week 1, we're up to $850 in our account. Now we look then, how long does it take us to get to 6,000? It's around 40 weeks. At 40 weeks we've now got 6,000 and still working only on $100 a day. Only $100 a day per contract you trade. Okay, it's going to take us there. By week 44 we're earning our 10 grand a week. Now let's just consolidate this. If you averaged only $10 a day per contract on the micros, increasing to 100 a day when you start trading the ES, it's going to take you 88 weeks to get there to an income of 10,000. That's only 21 months. It's 1 year and 9 months. Traders, time will pass anyway. The 21 months is going to go. So where you end up with it is really up to you where we go today. So I'm going to show you that, how to do it. And we're going to look at the charts practically how to do this. So we've set the goal. Now how do we actually consistently achieve 200 a day? Now first of all, you really need to be going for 300 a day. Why? You are going to have down days. So my risk would be $300 a day per contract, and I've got a target of 300 to make up for any losses. Now as you get underway, consistently, you should be up there around the 80 to 85%, and you'll understand why in a moment. And how do you master this in the shortest period of time? Remember Curly's law? As much as in a moment, I'm going to show you a number of different setups. You start out with one, maybe two. You've got really the 34B and the 2B. They really work hand in hand, and you build from there. Okay, so the next slide here is this. Now you can scalp just about any market using the exact same strategy. So whether you're trading stocks, futures, you can trade the ES, which is the E-minis, the micro, the NASDAQ, you've got the Dow, the black gold oil, the Texas tea, you've even got the Forex futures contracts, you've got stocks. It really doesn't matter. Now you may say to yourself, well, how on earth could these strategies work on all markets? Well, let me quote you Richard Dennis. Now, Richard Dennis is one of the most famous traders ever. He started a group called the Turtles, and when he was asked in an interview how much common behavior is there between markets, and what he said, and he was asked, are the patterns of being similar to the patterns of bonds, or do markets have their own personalities? And here's what he said: I could trade without knowing the name of the market. And then the gentleman interviewer him said, if what you're saying, the patterns in different markets are very similar, yes, in our research, if a system doesn't work on both bonds and beans, we don't care about it. So what's essential for us is we have a market that trends and it's got some volume. So as long as you've got a market that trends on a regular basis and it's got volume, okay, it's tradable with the setups I'm going to teach you. Now also, I believe that success leaves clues. Now, we actually say that if only one person can do something, it may be an absolute fluke. Maybe they're a freak of nature of what they can do. But if two people can do it, it can be modeled. And that has really been my secret, is to look at what other people do. Why do you do that? When do you enter that? Where do you put your stop loss? Where's your entry? Where's your target? Why? It's about modeling and looking at what others do. Now, when we look at this, fortunately, we live in a world where there's so much written on trading now. And this is perhaps one of the greatest books that's ever written back in the 80s, is The Market Wizards. And then you had the New Market Wizards. Now, in there, Richard Dennis actually employed, and he called them the Turtles, a group of traders that work for him that become quite famous. And where he got the name from, he was visiting Asia and he saw all these little turtles in a pond being bred, and that's where he came up with the concept of the turtles. And in an article written back in 1989, as it says here, winning commodities traders may be made and not born. Success in trading really comes down to following the rules. And this is one of the challenges, traders, is that it's not the setups, whether the setups work, it's whether you will follow the rules. Now, he had a partner, Richard had a partner, Bill, and Bill didn't believe that it could be modeled. He didn't believe that it could be taught. And as he stated here in an article, I was proven wrong. The program proved to be an outstanding success. And when you looked at how he trained his traders, he only taught them in the classroom for 2 weeks. And as he says here, this is not rocket science. Now, here's another one. You've probably heard of Larry Williams. Now, Larry turned $10,000 into 1.1 million in 1 year, day trading. Now, when you look at the risk parameters, it was beyond the risk parameters that I would run to and you would run to, because you're going to trade correctly. No disrespect to Larry, but there are lots of traders doing that. And you go and look at Marty Swartz. Marty Swartz is a legend in this business, and Marty earned consistently working from home on his own. Well, actually, he had his boss. His boss was his wife, Audrey, and he earned consistently $300 to $500 a month just trading the S&P. Now, when you look at it, and if you go and take some of the interviews here, what do you tell people who seek your advice? I always try to encourage people that are thinking going into this business for themselves. I tell them, think you might become more successful than you ever dreamt, because that's what happened to me. Now, as he says in interviews, that what made it difficult for him, it wasn't that is the Google wasn't there. The education level wasn't there. It took him 10 years to get there. Okay, but now thanks to the research and computers, and he used to draw, by the way, nearly all of his charts by hand back in the 70s and 80s. Then Ed Seykota, estimated to be worth 400. Look, I think you're getting the drift, and you already know that there are a ton of people that do it. Most of Ed's strategies are mechanical, as what I'm about to show you. Most of the strategies are mechanical. So let's start to drill down on some of these strategies. First of all, here are a couple of excellent books. Now, we've got Trend Following, How Great Traders Make Millions in Up or Down Markets. There is our first hint, Trading with the Trend. Then we go and take Robert Miner's book, High Probability Trading Strategies, another excellent book. And in that book, Robert talks about their the momentum time frame strategy is not a standalone trading strategy, but as he points out here, is that it's probably one of the most powerful, or better than most systems that sell for thousands of dollars. So one of these secrets, first of all, traders, is that we use multiple time frames when we trade. Okay, so we're going to have what we call an entry chart, a lower time frame, and we trade in the direction of the higher time frame. So when we consider the trading styles of the majority of the world's best traders, what can we learn? They focus on trend trading only, or for you to focus on trend trading only. Trading is nothing more than a pattern solving exercise, and the trend is 80% of the time is going to continue. But for some reason, humans have this thing of trying to pick tops and bottoms. You have to ban yourself from counter trend trading early in your career. Now, I'm not saying you can't do really well. I love CT trading, counter trend trading, but at the right time. So if you look at this dark blue line, this represents your higher time frame, and I've actually discovered a formula that works brilliantly. You've got, first of all, one formula for time-based charts, tick charts, and volume. That is in setting up your higher time frame. But if you trade Renko or range charts, is another formula that we use for setting our time frames up. Now, this is where you get your CT trades. You'll get a really nice trend. 80% of the time it'll continue. Then you get your counter trend trades. But there's certain things that we look for. So this is what we want to be doing initially. Let me take you back to this book, because I want to show you a setup that's been around for ever since the markets have been around. Okay, and this is written about by Mike Delafori. He owns, or he's the main partner in SMB Capital, which is a prop trading firm out of New York. And in his book, so this is an excellent book written some 8 or 9 years ago now, One Good Trade, but then he's got the playbook. And in the playbook, he talks about one of his traders called G-Man. And this is G-Man's favorite setup. And sorry about that little tag down there. So let me just explain what this setup is. Now, this is nothing new. Getting back to what Gann says, there's very little or nothing new under the sun. But I want to explain the philosophy, how you can really improve this. First of all, we're looking for a trend. You wait for a retracement and a trend continuation. We chuck our stop just above here and away we go, and there is our first target to take out our previous swing low. Now, what a lot of traders will do is say wait for this fractal break, or wait for the break, and you'll have a breakout trade here. The challenge with that, traders, is you give back all of that. And if you're, say, trading as a day trader, trading stocks or futures or Forex, you can give back a lot of profit in that move. Now, if we're going long, we're waiting for a pullback. We place our little stop loss just under here, and here's our entry. Here's our first target. So if you're trading multiple contracts, okay, you're going to get out just there. And I'm just going to pull up something here I want to show you as we get underway now. Hopefully I left that open. Let me just see here if I got that. what I am going to do in a moment, I'll pause the video because I want to show you. I'll come back to that. Sorry. So what we do is we have EMAs, moving averages, on here, and we look for bounces, because what I've discovered is that there are certain points where we get a bounce and it makes them very, very high probability. You'll see that on the charts in a moment. But what if this trade fails? The next one is his favorite setup is if he gets a failure and it pulls back further, he'll have another dig at it. And this is his favorite setup because it's pulled back further. He's got a greater distance to his first target. Okay, and this will be, as you'll see here, a 34B, and this will be our 89B, our different trades. You'll see we use moving averages. Now this setup here is also known, some will know it as the old floor trader strategy. It's been around for years, but it works brilliantly. Now when we take out of that book, the playbook, let me just quote a couple of things here from Mike. Is that most of his traders are successful 80 to 90% of the time. A few on their desk are consistently above 95%. So when asked how can professional traders have such a high win rate, there are three reasons. Number one, they develop a skill set over time that allows them to get in and out of stocks. Now we trade futures and Forex in a way that's easier because you get to know the personality and they trend beautifully. They develop, quoting Mike, pattern recognition skills that enable them to accurately assess their risk versus reward. They're patterns and they're in the right markets, the right stocks. That is what makes the difference. So before we go to our charts, we're just going to talk about the different types of charts. Now traders will use, and there are lots of different trading platforms around. You know, you've got NinjaTrader, which is probably the world's #1 platform today. You've got TradeStation, who I've been with for over 20 years. There are others. If you trade, sorry about that noise in the background there. If sorry Cam, you'll have to wait. You've got MT4 if you trade the Forex market, which is free. And even with NinjaTrader, you can trade using the simulator free of charge until you go live. So a big thing here is, traders, you trade using the simulator until you're ready to go live. So time-based charts, my favorite are tick charts, range, or Renko. But with no matter what type of chart, even when we go to the charts, I mainly use Renko nowadays along with tick. I have both charts up on the same market, and I won't go in, it's beyond today's webinar why, but I'll have both up. But I love Renko for scalping. Now the following strategies that I show you are easy to learn, and some of them that I show you, look, others will charge you thousands for. Like there's one Fibonacci software program selling for, I think it's $16,000. Traders, you could, floor pivots will do exactly the same thing. Okay, now do traders make money using their softwares? No doubt, if they follow the rules. Now you may also ask then, why have a number of strategy? Well, we've got strategies for all different types of market conditions and situations, but when you first start, you start with one or two strategies, you build from there. So why the strategies work so well? Let's consider the logic behind some of my top strategies. Now I give them codes, it just makes it a lot easier. Now with that, I'm just going to pause this video because I do want to pull something up here. Actually, I can probably just do that. Where are we here? Let me just pull this up on another screen. Just want to show you this. I'm just going to pause it one moment. Oops, wrong one. Trading terms, this is what I'm after. Now there's many different setups that you'll learn with me over a period of time. However, and don't hang up just because I say that, you don't have to do my program, okay? But you'll want to do it when I'm about to show you something. Get a couple of minutes, okay? You'll want to do it. There are a ton of different setups, but once you master one, once you own it, you add another one, and I teach you which are the ones to add. Now some of these are counter trend, some are change a trend, and some are trading with the trend. So there's a whole range of different setups that I teach. Now the trend trading ones of Super Scalper, you'll see my white paint bar. You've got the slingshot, been around 100 years, kicks butt big time. Your double tops or double bottoms. Your 34.89 200 Bs kick butt nearly every day. Your pivot magnet trades. Okay, pivot magnets or pivots, floor pivots, are about really the only really leading indicator because they're like price magnets. They're all trend continuation trades. Yes, they can be breakout trades, but we trade them as trend continuation. Now, the real issue is not whether the strategies work, it's whether or not you'll trade the rules. So as a quick reminder, you're going to trade initially only with the trend. You're waiting for a pullback, as we'll see on the charts, and a trend continuation. So we got the Super Scalper slingshots. There's a whole range of them. I'm just going to show you these in my program. However, we're going to stick to trading with the trend initially. Now, here are what the essentials are. You must learn really learn to recognize what constitutes a trend, a fanning of the moving averages, divergence and angulation. They're easy, they're patterns. We want to know and we want to learn when the trend starts and what are the signs that a trend may be coming to an end. Now, when we start to see signals of divergence and angulation, it's a good sign that we may be coming to an end. It's not rocket science. These are patterns. Now, it's very, very important that as you get underway, as I've said a number of times, you keep your trading simple. And I think it was Richard Branson that said, any fool can make something look complicated. The secret is to keep things simple. So the two strategies that really you want to focus on initially when you become a member, and you will want to, are the 34Bs and 2Bs. But I'll teach you how to do those. Now, the other thing also, that we are snipers. One of the challenge with traders is that they want to fire off, they want to be chasing. What you've got to do is to train yourself, is to sit back and wait for the trade to come to you. Now, this is the challenge for most traders. It's a bit like trying to pick tops and bottoms in the markets. Traders they get bored. Well, if you're a scalper, you've got plenty of trades during the day, but this is probably one of the most important things here. Now, you can be live trading successfully within as little as 30 days. So for the experienced traders especially, when I show you some of these concepts, you'll pick them up very, very quickly and you'll see the logic behind them. Now, 3 by $80 trades. So if you're trading oil, that's 3 8-tick trades a day. If you're trading the ES, that's 3 6-tick trades a day. So just break it down. If you're trading, say, the Forex markets, it's after your spread, that's 3 8-pip trades a day net if you're trading a major contract. And we got this thing, yes I can, in my coaching room, which we'll talk more about. Now, why 200 a day? This is the goal. 10,000 a week, or whatever your goal may be. So let's go to the charts. Okay, so let's go to the charts. So let me pull this up to begin with. First of all, oops, wrong one. That's not the one I wanted to bring up. I've got another screen. Here we go. Now, this is, we're looking at the 10-year note here. Now, the 10-year note, if we look at the extreme volatility we've had in the market of recent times, traders, the 10-year note has been one that's been extremely tradable. For an example, since 1845 back here, it's now, what time is that now? 18. So if we look at this here, over the last 5 hours, this is the action we've seen. Very slow. Now, this is a trade that I took after we got underway. I recorded a couple of trades this morning. I think I showed you, but then I had this one earlier. Now, this one here is worth $460, just 5 contracts going long. But this is trading with the trend. Now, let's have a look at this. If you're a brand new trader, what we do is we start you off with 2 charts. So this is the one on the left is what we call our entry chart. The one on the right is what we call our anchor chart 1. Entry chart, anchor chart 1. Okay. Now, look at the trend here. We only trade in the direction of the trend. What is that? Well, we look over at our AC1 and we can see here we've got our moving averages. We are in an uptrend, so we're looking at trading with the trend only. So see this right there, you had an entry right there, you had an entry there, which is the one I jumped on. Now talking about counter trend trading, as we got underway I actually jumped in this particular trade here, and this is a CT trade. And for the experienced traders in the room, the reason I jumped on this one is look at that angulation. Actually I should say this to everyone. See how price action is angled away here from the moving averages. See that? That's what we call angulation. Now I had virtually no divergence, but this is what we call a T3 setup, a really good angulation. And one of the secrets here is this: the distance from my entry, which was the close, and I actually jumped in on this one and only took 1 point out of it because I had to do this recording, but this was going to be my target, the 34 EMA. So the secret, let me give you a secret. What is the distance from my entry to the 34? Now in this particular case it was 4 ticks. Now when you're trading the 10-year note, that's 62.50 per contract. Okay, that is plenty, and that's what we call a scalp. Because we had no divergence, you're almost guaranteed to have what we call a 34B, which is what we've got right there. And right now you've got what we call a counter trend T7. See the divergence there and see that there. So you've got a potential short setting up, hasn't fully qualified yet. You've got a potential short. So getting back to this, some of your trend trades, see these purple dots, see that line? That is a 21 moving average. We're looking for a pullback here and for slingshots down here. So you had a slingshot there, you had another one there, you had another one here, and each one of these, every time you get 3 to 5 ticks, so 3 tick move is 46.80. Remember I said 5 by 5, yes I can. They're your scalps. But when you get some of these deeper pullbacks and you've got then 5 tick moves, that's $78. Now remember when I said before commissions, and the commissions on your financials is only about $4 each. So remember I said 3 by 8, yes I can. Okay, on the 10-year note, that's 3 8-tick trades a day, and you've hit your $200 net a day. Now the greatest challenge is, quite frankly, for traders on this market is they get impatient. Now let's go and have a look at the black gold, at oil. Now once again, what we'd normally have up here is this is what I'd normally be looking at, the 3 charts. Now this is what we call a 2-tick Renko, which means each one of these bars, or bricks as they're actually called, I just call them candles, is worth $20 there too, and each one of those little step downs is worth $10 there. Now what we're looking at doing here, traders, is trading only in the direction of the higher time frame. Simple concept. Well, the thing is, you've got to do it. So if we look at this here for a moment, let's just look at this. We'll just go back to this. At this stage right here, let me just go here, across here. Okay, that's what you'd be looking at as the market fell down. Okay, so here we've got a pullback, a retracement. I'm waiting for the white paint bar. Whoops, I'm waiting for the white paint bar to pull up, and there it is right there. So see that point there? Okay, that's the signal that I'm waiting for. Now this white paint bar, I've got it coded for NinjaTrader. I've got a version of it for MT4, for Think-or-Swim, and of course TradeStation. But if you've got a platform that doesn't have it, that's a simple pattern, and I teach you why it plots. It's a simple pattern. Now if there's something else I also want you to notice here, I'm going to give you a little trade secret. Look over here. Just notice here that point there is that one there. Let me click on this one. That one there is that point there. Let me click on this one just there. That one is that one just there. Let's go a bit further down. This one is that one just there. Oh, and that one there, that didn't quite qualify, and I'll explain why in a moment. And that's it so far today. Notice they were all winners. What was I looking for? What I was looking for is a kiss or a tag of the yellow EMA. We call it follow the gold. Notice here we tagged the 34, and that was it right there. Now you look at that and go, well, hang on, Ray, that didn't move very far. Now we're entering on the close of a third candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that touched 8 ticks. Now you wouldn't have been filled probably on the 8. That was an 8 tick move, $80. Now what about this one here? Well, this one here was sort of a marginal one because you've got what we call an overshoot here. But if you look at here, that was your third lower high, but that's sort of a bit advanced. I just want to show the mechanical entries that anyone can pick up. What about that entry there? This entry didn't qualify. We've got to touch the yellow. See there? It didn't actually touch. So that one didn't qualify, but this one did. See how the tail tagged the 34. Now remember, we're only after three $80 trades a day. Look at that one there. There's over $200 in that move just there alone. So you had that one right there, which is that there. You had, no, that one you didn't have, but you had that one there. You had that one there. These are plain vanilla mechanical entries trading with the trend. Now this is a 2-tick Renko. Now with a 2-tick Renko, where do we put our stop? Our stop ideally is 1 tick above. So if you're trading a 2-tick Renko, it means that if you're waiting for the paint bar, you've got an 8-tick stop. That's your stop size, 8 ticks, which is $80. Now in slower markets, we can actually trade a 1-tick Renko. That's right, you can trade a 1-tick Renko. So in normal markets where we don't have this incredible volatility, here is a 1-tick Renko there. If you've got a 1-tick Renko, your maximum stop size is going to be 6 ticks. And we had an entry right up there, you had an entry there, which means you enter earlier and you hit your profit targets quicker. Now what if you trade the Forex markets? So we're looking at Forex here. This is the Aussie dollar using Renko. Now once again, you can use any sort of time. You can use a time-based chart, you can use tick, range, it really doesn't matter. I just happen to prefer for scalping. Renko is fantastic for scalping, but I do mention to you, or I have mentioned, I still like to look at the tick charts because that also gives me a lot of information, particularly when it comes to divergence. Renko's beautiful for smoothing out price action, but it's good to look at the tick chart sometimes for hidden information. Now we've got slingshots all the way down here on these, so you can see your reversal points very plainly right here. Okay, what if you trade stocks? Let's just have a quick look here at this is Tesla. On the right hand side I've got a tick chart, on the left hand side I've got a Renko chart. So it really comes down to what you like to trade with, but the same concepts apply. So rule number 1 in trend trading, we are looking for what we call a fanning of the EMAs. Very important. So what gives the fanning? First of all, notice the blue line, a trigger line, crosses through the 34 EMA. That actually coincides with a 50 0 line CCI crossover, except I found a EMA that crosses right at that point, because the philosophy of a 50 CCI 0 line, if you're below the 0 line, a lot of traders will interpret that as it's to only go for short trades. Once you're above the 50 CCI, you're looking for longs, and so it works really well, and we call that a T20. Now a T20-1 is the first trade we have that sets up after a T20, which is that one right there, and that is the trade that Gann said many generations ago. And what Gann basically said, that really the safest place to look for a new trade is at the end of the first correction of a new swing. So this is the first correction in a new swing. Now this is on a very low time frame. Remember, the lower the time frame, the more noise you have, or the more chop you can enter. Now when I train you, I teach you all the different time frames that you should be using, that I recommend. Now you may be thinking, why is that marked up? Look over here. Here's a little secret we also have. Notice on our time frame here, AC1, we've got a bounce. That's a really nice 5 to 6 tick scalp. You get dozens of those. You had one just there, and you had one just there. In fact, there it is right there, where normally you would ignore those trades. But what I've found is, just through thousands of hours of screen time, and here is another one just there, is that there are certain bounce points that we have which are fractal in nature. They appear on all time frames and all markets, okay, and they just work brilliantly. And here is another Gann trade just here. There's your T20-1, and there's the first trend trade after the market rolled over, and look at that move. These are regular trades that we see in the market. Now just one more is what I've got here. This is the ES, and you can see the ES is absolutely firing off like a rocket at the moment, and in many ways it's really untradeable at the moment. Oil's very tradable, your currency futures, Forex is very tradable, the 10-year notes very tradable, but that's a 2-tick Renko. And you can just see, and this is in the after hours market, and the reason we've got this is all the algorithms are firing off, and so there are trades just going absolutely just one after another, okay, bang bang bang. So it's very, very hard to trade this market, but it will settle down. I mean, 99% of the time. Look at these jumps. See this is how you lose money. You've got to be trading a market where it's tradable. Okay, very, very important. It's got to be slow enough. So you go and look at the 4-tick Renko. Now, this is, and just before we go back to my slideshow, I just want to show you this. What we're looking at is oil here. Excuse me. Now, oil is $10 a tick, and this is a 4-tick Renko brick. Okay, so each one of these little step downs is worth $20. Now, what we're looking for is right up here. Our first signal is there. Okay, there's our T20-1, okay, just there. Now this is getting back, and let me just show you, or may as well go right back here. Okay, so here is, let's just go back. You had your entry there. Let's just talk about trading with the trend. This will stop in a moment. Here is the no-go zone. How do we know it's a no-go zone? See how our EMAs are intertwined, a real danger area. Now if you can't see the timestamp down there, this is 4 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so this is very, very early in the morning. So at that time, normally you would be trading a lower time frame, not a 4-tick Renko. But as we now head up, we're now at 6:15 Central. Now, our time frame and our volume is starting to pick up. Notice how our EMAs are starting to fan. And Bill Williams, in his great book, he owns a company called Profittunity. And in his book, Trading Chaos and what's the other one? Oh, New Trading Dimensions, he talks about here, imagine a crocodile. It's got its mouth closed, it's not hungry, then finally it starts to get hungry, it starts to open its mouth, and away we go. What are these purple dots you may be thinking? They're what we call rule of one trades. Another story, another time. But here we've got a trade entry right there. You've got a golden, that's called a 2B, and you've got a 2B right there, and you've got a 2B just there. Now a 2B means we've got multiple bounces, and let me show you this. Best way is to really show you. See there how I've got a bounce there and there. Let's go here. Remember I said here, well, I had another one there. There it is right there, and here's my next one right there. Bang. Now what was our target? $3 $80 trades a day. That's 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 140, 160. Look, whatever target you want to go for. Here, now you remember you're not into the close of a third candle. 20, 40, 60, 81, 120, 140, 160, 20, 40, 60, 81 is 100. There's you've wrapped your trading up for the day if you wished. What made them mechanical? Rule number one, do I have a trend? Yes. Has price action pulled back? Yes. Remember G-Man's trade? He showed you, you wait for the pullback, you place your stop loss there, and we've got our entry. Okay, and away we go. Here's our pullback. Okay, there it is there again. We place our stop loss, we hit our target. Now, for our divergence traders, or for our experienced traders in the room, look at this here. So all of a sudden we go across to here. I've now got a new higher high. See that there? You look at your anchor chart 1. This is what you'd be looking at. Let me just show you this here directly. That's what you're looking at there and there. What have you got on your anchor chart 1? What have you got on your anchor chart 2? Here I've got no divergence. Now this is a special MACD that I have. I've only got that coded for TradeStation, but I'll give you the alternative for all other platforms anyway. So if you don't have TradeStation, don't worry about it, because there's an easy setting to set this up on any platform. But notice your divergence, this is critical. Okay, you had divergence here, and that was divergence only on this chart. When you've got divergence on your lower time frame, that's your weakest form of divergence, and usually you'll bounce off the 34. That's what we call a T19. Now, when you've got divergence on your higher time frames, these are called 2Ds, and they kick butt. Look at that move. Right, all I'm looking for is divergence on a higher time frame. That then gives me the signal that I'm probably going to start looking for the GAN trade, okay, the first trade in a new trend direction. All right, these are techniques that you'll learn, and then away we go. There's your 34B following the trend. Okay, there it is there. Now here, have I got one? No, it doesn't quite qualify as a 2B. That does there. So right there is that one right there. Okay, now I would have been stopped out on that one just there. Okay, but there's my second entry, and there's my third entry. Thank you very much. This, traders, is not rocket science. It truly isn't. It's a matter of learning how to master these setups, trading with the trend, then trading with your divergence trades if you wish later on. All you need is 3 trades a day. If day trading's not quite a few, maybe you'll go for swing trading, use exactly the same setups. So let me give you the very quick commercial on this. Stay with me, because you're gonna hardly believe what I'm about to show you, what you get. So what I have, if you visit my website, you'll see I have 2 programs. I've got the Day Traders Fast Track Platinum program, the Day Traders Fast Track program, which is it's the world's most comprehensive training program for scalpers and day traders, and you'll see why in a moment. That retails for $197, peanuts. And then I've got my private coaching group, which I run 2 days a week, or 2 evenings, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once the main market closes, Globex opens, once we all finish our main trading, I do 4 hours a week of live coaching with my members. And I've got around 200 members that attend my coaching. That's 16 hours of live coaching and mentoring each month, where I get to answer your questions. You can type in questions. I go through dozens of trades of the day. Now, who needs a coach? Why does the coaching work so well? And I love this statement by Coach Wooden, and basically says the little details are vital. Little things make big things happen. Traders, you need a trading coach. If you're not at the income level of $2,000 to $10,000 a week, you need a trading coach. I'm not there to be necessarily liked by you. I'm there to get you on the right track, to help hold you accountable. Tony Robbins and Paul Tudor Jones, you've probably heard of the multi-billionaire Paul Tudor Jones. He has been paying Tony Robbins, he pays Tony Robbins $5 million a year to coach him every week as a trader. So Paul Tudor Jones is a famous trader, multi-billionaire. He pays him $5 million a year to coach him. Every week they hook up online. That's correct, as his coach, to keep him on track. Because when you're working on your own as a trader, It's so easy to become distracted. Now what I give you is a complete scalping and day trading blueprint. Where to trade, how to trade, when to trade, where your stop loss goes, etc. And I'm going to make this really quick, but it's important you see this. Feedback from some of my members. This is John Hull. Okay, one of them here. This is he sent me this last Christmas. I found a solution to trading. One swig of this, if you're a part of Hour of Power prior to your trading, off and running 5 by 5, you bet your secret sauce. Ray's secret sauce. Okay, because I'm on my members, not only am I teaching them the world's best trading strategies, but the psychology behind trading. Teaching you to think in probabilities of 20. Unfortunately, so many traders get wrapped up where they think about the individual trade but not the risk management side. Well, 34B, this is a member from right back in 2016, as he had their 82% winners. Going back and all his back testing, and it kicks butt every day for 34B. Trading pivots. Now this is getting sort of slightly more advanced, and I'm not sure what trading, that might be on NinjaTrader, what platform, but the setups work on all platforms. So this is on the 3-minute window, and this is Ven, one of my coaching members, and I was teaching him how to trade pivot magnet trades. This one here, here's another member. I think this might have been Denzel on TradeStation here, where his confidence has increased 200%, his profits, and this is trading pivots. Now pivots, we could spend 2 hours just on pivots alone. It's a great strategy, been around for years. This is Jeffrey, 21st of February this year, recently achieved 5667. Now you can look at this and think, oh yeah, sure Ray, anyone can put this in. Now notice here, these are not testimonials, these are emails from members that they've sent emails to me letting me know what's happening. Now this is one 30th of March from Mark, and I actually asked his permission to show this and to put up his name, and he said yep, no problem. Now he only joined on February the 8th. Okay, so you can see here it's less than a month later, and so on his a live trade, his first week 824, second 88, 1400 and 1136. As he says here, his target is going for the 10,000. He's going to come across to Australia once he does that and buy me dinner. Was that Mark or was that another one that said that? But anyway, the bottom line is he's up and running within his first month. This is Murray Weston, one of my coaching. Now that's the thing, if you can't attend the live webinars I run 2 nights a week, you can watch a recording. As he says here, watch one of it, made him money straight away and in the morning. I don't even know what he did there. Andy is up to 150 a day, trading the 2Bs, 3Bs, 34Bs. Now these are all trend trades, and he's trading the NQ. Another one here very quickly, this is just some feedback. This was in the chat box. Love it, 200 day per contract. It's that simple. I've doubled my account. Awesome, thanks for sharing. Look, this does work. We're just talking about some traders sometimes say, oh, this is bullshit, it doesn't work. We just laugh about that all the time. The only time these don't work, traders, is if you're not following the rules. And I don't give a rat's ass what people say. If you don't, look, if you're trading with the trend, if you've got the right entry, the right stop, the right target, you can't help but make money. The fact is, traders don't want to follow the rules, or they're not willing to put in the screen time. That's where I get so darn frustrated at traders, where, you know, you can take a horse or lead a horse to water, but if it doesn't drink it. And traders, they want to cut corners all the time. This ain't rocket science, but you've got to follow the rules. Traded Sim up 550 before he went live. Okay, this is from Tommy. Now Tommy now is really kicking butt. He was sending in his live account. Here, this is from Mark. Now Mark's been in my room for a long time now, in my coaching room. He's scalping away 200 net. Now traders, why do traders attend? I've been running the coaching room now for 20 months. Why do they keep attending month after month? Because they recognize the full-time traders, they want to keep their skill set right up there where it belongs. Now this is Dave from Seattle. We call him Dave from Seattle, and he's been with me for about 3 years. Now, hi Ray, you know my 34 EMA, or you know the 34 has been gold standard. this the 34B, and I'll show you his chart in a minute. It just kicks butt every day, virtually every single day. Down here, he calls it, it's like an ATM machine. Okay, anyhow, he travels the world. He just got back from Sydney, and this is one of his charts here, just showing his entry here, and his goal is there 500 or 600 a day, and this is on the 233 tick chart. So he got the 233, and now he's gone also across the Varenko. But these entries are all the 34Bs or 89Bs, or what we call 2B entries. Okay, so that's it. So very quickly, what are you going to get, and why should you be joining me? Okay, well, first of all, part of this whole package there, and there's only going to be 50, and you'll see why they're going to go in the first couple of days, is I give 8 live 2-hour sessions. I walk you through hundreds of potential trades. If I see something setting up live, I'll point it out at the same time. Even though it's during the Globex session, there is still quite often some really good setups, and you'll get to know my philosophy. For an example, right now, let me show you this. Right now there is a setup on the right there. Remember that one over here I said we've got potential divergence? Well, now it has set up right there. Now this is one of my famous 2Ds. I call it famous, but okay, see that there? Divergence, divergence. You've got divergence on your higher time frame. This will come down and either bounce off that level or come down to the 89. It'll bounce either there on the midline pivot, or it'll come back to there. These are the 2 points it'll come down to. If you had a shorted that there, you're sort of only 1 or 2 ticks in there. You're only sort of $15 to $31 in the money at the moment, but you've got a nice target there or there. These are about 90% accurate. Okay, this is nothing more than a pattern we're looking for. So I teach you those, which are the right sessions, which is the right time frame for you to trade, and how I come up with those time frames, so you understand the philosophy. There's no so-called black boxes or secret sauce here that you don't know. When to take a trade, when to exit, whether to use a fixed target, trailing stops. Now with that, as far as that goes, I'll just quickly show you this little cheat sheet. Where is it? I'm just going to, here we go, exit. One of the handouts, for an example, you get, and I teach you, is exit strategies taking profits. So you'll see here in my live coaching, I'm teaching you all the different ways of taking profits. Now, if you're trading one contract, you start off with trading with a fixed profit target and you go from there. But over a period of time, you'll learn and you'll discover which is the best one for you. Okay, so there's a whole range of different ways of taking the trades. Now, you receive dozens of marked up charts. Now, when you join, and you can see here, this is going back now, we're now into April 2020. So we've been going over 20 months. And what you actually get in each session, in each month, is 8 folders. And in each folder, there's a heap of PowerPoints, which we go through each coaching session, handouts, cheat sheets, etc. And you get to download all of these. It's a goldmine. There is nothing else like it in the industry. There are dozens of marked up charts. Okay, then we get to the Day Traders Fast Track program. So if you don't want to attend my coaching, which you will, and you'll see why in a moment, there's my Platinum program, which you can go to my website and buy for $197. Now there are dozens of folders on my Google Drive, which you can access every one of those, and in them I've got indicators for Think or Swim, Trade Station, there's stuff there from members, there's folders there on scalping, there's cheat sheets, etc. There's literally dozens of handouts there. There's hundreds actually, it's not dozens, there's hundreds. This is for an example, new member downloads. If you go as a new member, you'll see there's dozens of handouts for you to download. But remember, we get back to that one thing. When you first start trading with me, and even if you're experienced, even if you're not consistently making money, traders, you start with the 34B and 2B. You get that down, then we build from there. Remember that one thing, and this is the mistake that most traders make. They just want to get into it and they want to trade 10 different setups. We start with one. There are literally dozens of cheat sheets as well. Now, why are there so many? Because I'm teaching you exit strategies, the chart settings, the super traders and how they do it, the 2Bs. Is we've got there, I'm just looking on another window here. Where's the master? Just trying to find this. Is stops. There's literally just dozens and dozens of handouts, cheat sheets, tips. Look, there's tips and ideas on how to identify a trend, for an example. Now with this, we go through how do we identify a trend. So we go through the different EMAs, and there's no secret behind those, but it's just really how we put them together. And talking about PowerPoints, there's over 30, I think it's 30 PowerPoints now. So with the PowerPoints, you can download all of these. Okay, so every one of my setups, well, actually that's not entirely true. For all of my key setups, okay, there are PowerPoints. Very comprehensive PowerPoints that you can download. Let me just pull up for the one for the T7. Okay, double tops and bottoms, how the indicators we use, the settings that we use, all of those, all of these are downloadable. And as I said, there's close to, if not more than 30 PowerPoints now. Now let's talk training videos. There's hundreds of them. Literally over the years, I put together over I don't even know how many of it would be on my website. I've lost count now. There's probably 300 or 400 videos there. It gives you the name of the video. They're not all on the spreadsheet. On this spreadsheet, there's about 200 now. How long they go for, 38 minutes, 22 minutes, 11 minutes, etc. All different things. So there's some live trading. There's explaining every setup and what they are, etc. So you receive a spreadsheet of all of those. Okay, you get the Excel spreadsheets for setting your own targets. So I teach you how to set your own profit targets. So finally, what is all this worth? Okay, well, I'm not going to give you some big sell, because I'll tell you in a moment why I'm giving this away for virtually free of charge, and you'll get to know my logic. So my main program is $197. You get access to everything, lifetime access, all of my indicators, all of the handouts, everything you see for $197 on my website. Okay, and that's why I've got really many thousands of members. And by the way, do they all make it? No, because a lot of them won't follow the rules. It's as simple as that. Okay, but it's $197. You go to my website. Then I've got my coaching program. The coaching program is really the secret sauce that puts it together, traders. It really does. 8 live sessions a month. Okay, and as I've said, I've had this going for now over 20 months. I've got members who have been with me for 20 months. I've got over 200 members a month. Now on my website, to join that, it's $997 to join that. But this is what I'm offering you, and I'll tell you why. Now, my coaching is normally $997 for the first month and $297 a month. We then got there, the Day Traders Fast Track program is normally $197, both combined $1194. You can obtain all of this, 50 memberships only, for $97, saving you $1,000. Your ongoing coaching then is only $97 a month, saving you a further $200. That's right, everything I've shown you here, traders. And we're live right now. What did I say about this trade? Sorry, I've got to show you this. This is really relevant. Remember, I said this trade would go down and we'll hit either the midline pivot or we'll come down and we'll have a bounce just here. Usually we hit here and there'll be some profit taking right there. Now this is live as I'm recording this. This is not with TradeStation. You don't have data playback. So here now why did I say that? Because this is a good, when you've got a 2D, it's a good 85-90% trade when you trade. What did I say about this bounce, traders? Look at that there. There is, now this is live. This is the bounce I was telling you. I just said, just then you'll probably get, that's profit taking. Why? There's something happening on the anchor chart. I won't give away all my trade secrets. That's happening. This happens day in, day out. These traders, that there was a pattern. That was a pattern. This was a pattern. These are all patterns that we see each and every day. So back to this. You can gain all of this for only $97, okay, a month onwards, saving you a further 200. Now, so the deal is, and this is what's in it for me, I've got 200 members that pay me 97. Some have opted to go for an annual plan after their first month. I've got a heap of those where they pay $597 a year. So $97 gets everything. Then they can upgrade to a year if they wish. And I've got about 100 of my members now are there. So rather than charge you thousands of dollars up front for my program, as most do, I say, okay, it's only $97. You get to download everything off my website. You can spend a month downloading the 30 odd PowerPoints. You've got all the hundreds of videos. You've got lifetime access to. So even after the first month, you say, okay, I don't want any coaching after month one. That is, you attend the first month. As long as 3 days notice towards your anniversary of a renewal, you give me 3 days notice, you can cancel. Okay, and all you've paid is 97. You've got the recordings for the month of coaching, 16 hours, and you've got the hundreds of hours, and you still have lifetime access to the members area. Right, so what's in it for me? Well, I go and get, when I've got 100 odd traders paying me 97 a month, okay, to attend, and a lot keep upgrading, I do really well. I get to trade my 5 to 10 lots, day trading a couple of hours a day. I make great money there, and I make great money teaching traders how to trade, and I love it. I love what I do, and hopefully it comes across. I love trading, and training traders and coaching traders makes me a better trader. He who teaches learns twice. So once again, rather than charging you thousands, I'm only going to charge you $97 up front. And it automatically renews each month. And so I know by giving you spectacular service, by giving you the best of the best, you're going to want to stay with me. So month after month, I've got this renewal income of all of these members. And some of you, 50% tend to upgrade to the annual plan because they get to save a heap more. Once again, it's a win-win for you. It's a win-win for me. So I give you everything that I've got. You've got access to every area, all of my Google Drives, all of my handouts, all of my PowerPoints, the video list you've got forever, okay, all of my Excel different types of spreadsheets, all of that for only $97. Is this a hard sell? Well, you damn right it is, because it's such great value. This is probably a $10,000, $20,000 program. This is years of research, as you can probably see, has gone into this. So traders, click on the link at the top of the video there where you can go and join for $97 a month, or take a screenshot if you need to of this lower if you wish to sign up there. And I'm not sure online whether you can click on the link. I should have asked my IT guy. And the other thing too is, I don't have a big staff. I've got a couple of support staff work for me out of the Philippines. It's just me. I don't spend tens of thousands of dollars on marketing and selling $5,000 to $10,000, $20,000 programs. I can do it for $97. So that's enough selling for now. 97, you get all of that. Now what's happened? Let's just have a quick look at that trade again, shall we? Let's just go and have a look at this here. Yeah, look, we're still just sitting there. Now that move there, your entry was the close of the third candle. That was your entry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, it's come down and touched 6 ticks. Now 5 ticks, where you romp 5 ticks in, that's $78. Okay, remember our 3x8, yes I can, 3x8, yes I can. So we tag the 89. Now what you actually do, as you come down on these traders, there are 2 levels that I suspected we would bounce on. Either our midline pivot, and the more powerful one is the 89. Now let's just check. Just want to check here on the higher time frame. Let me just pull this across, and let me just check that there. So what you actually do, is I'm just looking to see over there, is you pull your stop loss right down. If you expect it's going to keep going here, we would be out of that. Some traders may choose to stay with it because your stop loss is up there. But one thing you don't want to do, when you've got $78 per contract, you don't want to give that back. You can always re-enter, because what is happening now is this. Notice my long-term stochastic here. and look over at my anchor chart here, my long-term is starting to come down as well. What does that tell me? That gives me a pretty good idea that we may roll over and fall even further. That is my, note the crossover here, the 8 crossing through the 34, that's my T20 there. So we've got plenty of room. Now looking at this, where is our next area of support? It's down here. So assuming we get past here, okay, and let's just watch this for a sec. Of course you can click the link if you don't want to watch this and move on. This is our next area of a potential bounce down here, okay, just down here. Now I don't have an entry signal yet. I do not have an entry signal yet, and actually look, it's been going an hour and 20 minutes, but that is my next potential area down here if it qualifies. Now of course the trend could continue. We could get a 2B just here, by the way. So two things can happen. We can either keep falling or rise, but this is a little pattern that may set up. So we will finish there, traders. Thank you very much. Hopefully you picked up some great ideas out of this video, and even better still, come and join me in the coaching room. Thanks, traders.